And we're off and underway at the Hive. So much at stake for both these teams. They were familiar rivals in the Championship, both now among the top 12 teams in English football. Godfrey gets an early touch back in the starting lineup to Zadorsky. Percival in the middle of the park, flicks it on. Kit Graham, lovely ball forward by her to release Ayana down the left-hand touchline. She looks to whip it across to Alex Morgan, who's got space here, brings it down well, can't quite get the layoff back to Kennedy. And Villa bring it away. Seams on the left-hand side for them. Back to Haig. Just gets enough pace on it to get it back to Weiss. Of course, we saw those two catastrophic goals in the first game of the season when two back passes by Villa saw them concede twice against Manchester City. They recovered well but lost that opening game, their first ever in the WSL, 2-0 to one of the superpowers of the game, of course, and they've had a decent response under Gemma Davis since then. But back-to-back wins for either of these teams this afternoon could make a huge, huge difference to their survival prospects. Just one team goes down, of course, to the Championship, and it is a crucial afternoon because the bottom four are all playing each other. Bristol City, the bottom club, hosting West Ham, who are immediately above them, and then here Tottenham, the team above West Ham, taking on Aston Villa, who are only above Spurs on goal difference and have played one game less. Follis with the throw-in for Villa. Caroline Seams now loses out to Morgan. Tackle in there to dispossess Seams, but Villa have the throw-in, of course. Working their way down this left-hand touchline. Addison loses out. Hales now, such a lively prospect, finds Follis. It's back to Hales in space, inside the area. Can she get the crossing? Goes to her outside again with Follis. Tucks it back into Hales. Lovely footwork by her. Seems, will she take the shot on? Lovely block by Zadorsky. Shot comes in from distance, well over the crossbar. First effort on goal, though, from the visitors. Interesting to hear those comments from Alex Morgan on the warm-up show with Rosie and Monica Meter on the FA Player. If you haven't seen it, catch up with it at a later time. Alex Morgan talking about how this is by far the most physical league she has played in. Says there's a lot of fouls, she said, and the play gets broken up a lot. And of course that's a reputation that the Men's Premier League has as well, being a perhaps tougher league than many around the world, and it takes players time to acclimatise. Alex Morgan certainly making that point about the WSL as well. No game is easy. Follis here brings it forward for Aston Villa down the centre of the park. Percival tries to get a challenge in, just gets enough on it to send it back to Harrop. Really good turn from her. Under a lot of pressure there from Petzelberger. Harrop does really well, uses all of her experience. Of course, she spent her entire career pretty much in the other half of Birmingham with Birmingham City, 20 years in total at the blue half of Birmingham. So no love lost against Aston Villa. But Harrop making the switch to Spurs in the summer, along with her Birmingham teammate Rachel Williams, who is among the Tottenham substitutes this afternoon. Zadorsky out now to Harrop, wearing the captain's armband. Club captain Josie Green on the bench this afternoon. Harrop got her first goal for the club last weekend, of course, that direct free kick, which the Brighton keeper Megan Walsh may feel she could have done a little better with. Gave Tottenham the lead here at the Hive a week ago. Surprising to read that only one of Tottenham's 9 WSL goals this season have come from open play. So they're a threat at set pieces, but they've got to do rather more to make goals for themselves from open play. That's what Aston Villa are trying to do here with Shania Hales. She was magnificent on Wednesday night with an assist and 2 goals in that 4-0 win over Bristol City, when Villa really took control in the second half. Blew Bristol City away at Twerton Park. Throw in again to Villa, who've had a really bright start here. 5.5 minutes in, Villa have had the better of it. One shot well over goal, but the ball has spent most of its time in this Tottenham half. Hansen now curls it towards the far corner, comfortable though straight down the middle. It started towards the far corner but drifted right back into the centre of goal, and an easy gather for Becky Spencer. Tottenham have been really hemmed back in this opening period. Actually, Neville now. Just too much on it for Morgan to get a hold of. Spurs still have it with Kit Graham. Charges her way back to the middle of the park. Finds Percival, drifts it through. Morgan gets a touch on it. She's left it. It may have found its way to Addison, who has it now. She's forced out by resolute Villa defending to the right-hand side. Neville on the overlap. In comes the cross. Away by Endow. And up for a Tottenham throw-in. First attack we've seen from Spurs, though. Fans here again this afternoon, just as they were last week, of course. Great to see some fans back at some of the WSL matches. Morgan brings it down. Finds Addison, who loses out. Villa clear through Follis. Godfrey's in the chase with Hales. Oh, lovely touch by Neville. Just too much here on the offside flag was up, but just too much on that touch for Neville, for Addison to get onto, but she thanks her teammate there, does Addison. Addison got a lovely goal last week. If you haven't seen it, try and catch up with that on the highlights as well on the FA Player. Glorious solo goal, reminiscent in some ways of one Glenn Hoddle got for Spurs against Oxford way back in the 1980s. She just seemed to deceive the keeper by not really moving at all, just charging on in a straight line and finding herself with an open net to roll it into, and it was that was the only Tottenham open play goal we've seen so far this season. But a beautiful one it was to see, certainly from a Tottenham perspective. Pitch holding up very well here at the Hive, a ground which Tottenham share with Barnet, the National League men's team, of course, and also with London Bees, the women's championship club. 3 elite teams play on this pitch. The London Bees haven't had a game here since mid-November. They were away last weekend, not in action today. Weiss has to come out here. She's lost it. Addison's on it, and Weiss has got back crucially. Wow, a nervy moment there at the back for Aston Villa, and Addison just couldn't capitalise on it. Tottenham really beginning to get themselves into this game now after a quiet start. Beginning to open up. Villa back on the attack now. Follis, lifelong Villa fan, lays it out to Seams. Seams tries to dink it over the top of Spencer, but it had too much on it over the crossbar. Barnet themselves just going back to that fact that this stadium is shared with Barnet. They were away yesterday. They had a 6-0 defeat to Chesterfield. And London Bees not in action this weekend in the Championship, where of course we have 11 teams in that division, so one team has to sit it out on each round of fixtures. A full complement of 12 in WSL nowadays, but one will be going down to be replaced by the Championship champions, who of course last season were Aston Villa, which is why they are now here in front of us as a top flight club, decided as it was on the points per game method. Only season had to be brought to a premature end because of the coronavirus outbreak. At that point they sat 6 points clear with their nearest challengers, Sheffield United. They had beaten United twice in their 2 fixtures, so I think in the eyes of many they were deserved champions, although everyone would have much rather seen the league reach a natural conclusion. The ball comes through now to Addison. Can she get on the end of it? She's gone down as Weiss got 2 hands on the ball. She half-heartedly claims for a penalty. Well, it did look a decent challenge from the keeper to me, but Addison did find herself making contact with the keeper rather than the other way round. Lost her balance, fell to the floor unmoved towards referee Sarah Garrett. Really has opened up a little more over this last 5 minutes, this game. Tottenham was, of course, going back to talking about Villa's promotion. Tottenham came up the season before when 2 clubs were promoted. Spurs on the attack again here. Morgan through. Can she get a second goal in a week? Well, she's gone down, and quite rightly, understandably, the referee can only point to the spots here because Morgan had the goal at her mercy. And is there going to be a red? Well, the yellow card has come out for Lisa Weiss. Morgan charged through one-on-one. Looked like she'd almost lost the opportunity. Weiss clattered her to the ground. And the yellow card is shown to Lisa Weiss.
They changed it 2 years ago, so...
And Alex Morgan coolly stepped up last week to convert from the spot. I did wonder if she was going to get her first goal from open play instead. She got a chance.
If it's a genuine attempt to play the ball, it's a yellow.
For a second penalty.
If it's like pulling someone down
in as many games. Morgan steps up against Weiss and puts it the opposite corner from last week. Coolly taken again. Alex Morgan puts Tottenham into the lead against Aston Villa in the 13th minute. Earned the spot kick herself and dispatched it without error. Full reward for the pressure that Tottenham have put on Aston Villa over the last 5 minutes or so after a very bright start from the visitors. How do Villa respond to that? It would of course have been a sending off under the old law, but when a penalty is given these days and a player makes a genuine attempt to play the ball and denies a obvious goal scoring opportunity, it's a yellow card. It was the removal of the double jeopardy, as it used to be called, where it was perceived that a team was punished twice with a penalty and a red card. Although of course when a penalty is missed, that really isn't the case, but that's why the law was changed, and that's why Lisa Weiss stayed on the pitch and had the opportunity at least to save Morgan's penalty, but wasn't able to do so. Can Spurs really take a stranglehold on this game with a second goal in quick succession? Percival picks it up. Short ball out to the left-hand side. Back with the New Zealand international again. Ale for Villa. They're having to weather the storm somewhat now. Of course, just a couple of minutes before that Morgan penalty. Addison went down under a challenge from Weiss, a fair challenge, but you just wonder if that was playing somewhat in Lisa Weiss's mind when she then found Alex Morgan bearing down on goal just moments later. Villa tried to ping one over the top to Follis, headed clear by Neville. Addison loses out in the centre of the park as Sante knocks it on to Follis. And Neville really good defending again by her. Back to Godfrey. Follis tries to put Spencer under pressure, but Spurs keeper keeps her cool. Tottenham build down the left-hand side. Zadorsky loses out, and it is a free kick to Aston Villa. Quarter of an hour played. Tottenham Hotspur 1, Aston Villa 0. Alex Morgan, the high-profile summer signing, two-time World Cup winner, Olympic gold medalist, far and away the biggest player to have ever played for Tottenham Hotspur women, and of course took her time to work her way up to match fitness, having given birth in the summer. Recently been able to be named in the starting lineup. Neville heads it away. And on the target and on the ball here, she loses out in the middle of the park. And Dow, lovely challenge by her. Petzelberger, 2 goals in the middle of the week for her. Villa will hope she finds her shooting boots again this afternoon. Can't get the pass through there to Hansen. Spurs can break here. Foul against Oyan, says Sarah Garrett. Very busy afternoon in the WSL. One match sadly though rained off. Birmingham against Everton, a waterlogged pitch at Solihull. 5 of the 6 games going ahead though. Kit Graham on the charge for Spurs, loses out. Asante now, experienced veteran of the WSL, signed by Villa in the summer. He's brought great know-how to this Villa midfield. On target herself once as well, with a glorious curling effort from the edge of the box against Brighton, when Villa got their first WSL win last month. She jokes herself not used to finding herself on the score sheet in her many years in the game. Speaking of those other games in action, where the leaders, Manchester United, are 2-1 up at Reading with just a couple of minutes still to go there in the early kickoff. Brighton at home to Chelsea, still goalless. And in the other relegation showdown, if we can call it that, this early on in the season, West Ham have struck an early goal away to Bristol City. In some ways that's good news for both these clubs in front of us here. Perhaps Tottenham and Villa would like to see Bristol City rather cut adrift. West Ham the only other team along with Bristol City below these two clubs. Spurs and Villa both on 6 points, Villa with the better goal difference. West Ham with 4 points at the start of play. Bristol City with 2. Asante for Villa. Out to Seams. Seams cuts back inside. Thought about dinking one over the top, but goes short to Asante. Rolls it across the middle, loses out, but has it back. Villa look to build again, and Dow knocks one out to the right-hand side. Petzelberger will try and get on the end of this. Zadorsky, though, shepherds it out of play. On loan from Orlando Pride. Shalina Zadorsky, the Canada international, Olympic bronze medalist at the last Olympics in Rio in 2016. bit too much on that. Almost lost it to Follis and then had to rather hurriedly shepherd it back to Spencer. 20 minutes played. Tottenham 1, Aston Villa 0. Alex Morgan from the spot in the 13th minute. She completed the scoring here last week with a late penalty. She's opened it a week on with an early penalty. Villa on the charge down the middle though with Endow. Kennedy tries to push her out to the right-hand side. Villa still have the ball. Follis can't quite get on the end of it. It's come through to Hales. Can she get the left-footed shot away across goal and wide harmlessly? Well, she'll be disappointed with that. A stronger foot. She can hit them. She really can. But just did not get the accuracy on that one. Villa have had their half chances. That's their third effort on target. Oh, sorry, third shot on goal, all off target, unfortunately. Maybe we could include the one down the centre of the goal, which was easily gathered by Becky Spencer as an on-target shot, but the other three off target. Neville makes a run down the right-hand side. She's got options. Pings it towards the near post. Vice loses it. Graham tries to get there. It's come back to Ayan, who pings it towards the far corner, and Vice gets both her hands to palm it over the bar. Decent shot by Ayan. Lisa Vice, who's certainly been in the thick of the action in this opening quarter of the game. Strong hands to push it behind for a corner. Can Tottenham get a second? They're crowding Lisa Vice in that 6-yard box. In it comes towards the far post, headed on and down by Morgan. And Dow clears it this time. Addison on the end of it though. Maneuvers her way into the centre of the pitch. Zadorsky knocks it onto Harrop. Villa have pushed Tottenham all the way back into their own half. Spurs look to build again though with Neville. Knocked it straight down the middle of the pitch. Ayan tries to get on the end of it and Dow heads it away. Davies. Kennedy picks it up. Loose ball from her though. Follis for Villa. Knocks it on to Hales. Hales does well to keep hold of it and sprays it back out to Follis on the left-hand side. Hansen makes her way into the area, as does Seams. Seams step over and loose ball back to Follis. Neville and Spencer can clear it up between them. Morgan brings it down. Lovely touch by her. Oh, and Ayan just couldn't quite get on the end of it. Takes the throw in quickly though, back to Morgan. To Neville. And all the way back to Spencer again. Loose ball. Petzelberger can ping it over the top of Spencer and into the back of the net. A goal out of absolutely nowhere. Nadine Hansen takes the congratulations as she knocks it over the top of Becky Spencer and into the back of an open goal. And Villa, handed a chance from nowhere, have pulled themselves level. She was a fair way out, was Nadine Hansen. I thought it was Petzelberger to start with, but Nadine Hansen on the end of that. Perfect height, perfect weight on the ball. Over the top of Becky Spencer.
I think it was a shot that we hit it, the shot that we allowed.
For her first WSL goal, she got a hat-trick in the Conti Cup earlier in the season. And a magnificent afternoon for her. Bringing her team level in the 24th minute. Neville. Tottenham looking for the immediate response with Rosella Ayan. Ayan has a lot of space here. Can she find Morgan? Not quite. Tottenham keep it alive though with Kit Graham. Back to Ayan. Dinks it towards the far post. Too much on it. Harrop keeps it in. And Ockham Hanson's booting out for a Tottenham throw in. A really open game now. Both teams playing with real confidence in the attacking third. It's not a cagey, tight encounter at the wrong end of the table. If anything, you feel like both teams really feel they do have enough talent to not be getting themselves involved in a scrap for survival. And they're going for it this afternoon. They perhaps feel the early season results have not done them justice. Certainly playing with more confidence than we saw from some of the clubs in the lower echelons last season. Godfrey out to Neville. Didn't quite get the direction on that, but the header has almost done Spurs a favour, and it's back with Rosella Ayan, former Bristol City player. Neville back to Godfrey. Neville has it back though, right back. Percival picks it up for Spurs in the centre of the pitch. Pops it out to the left-hand touchline for Harrop to whip the cross in. Weiss gathers that comfortably. Too much on that behind the goal line for a goal kick. 1-1 was the score when these teams last met in a competitive fixture back in May 2019, and it was that point at Boldmere St Michael's that secured Tottenham their promotion to the WSL as the championship runners-up that night behind Manchester United, the champions. Point was what they needed. They took the lead very early on through a fine goal from Jessica Naz. They were pegged back and they held on in a nervy finish for that 1-1 draw, which brought them into the top flight. A respectable first season it was for them last time round under their long-time joint managers Karen Hills and Juan Amoros. They lost their jobs in very savage fashion, really, at the start of last month, when the Spurs hierarchy decided a change was needed after that 2-2 draw away to Bristol City, which was their last match in charge, and on the same day that their departure was confirmed by the club, Rhiannon Skinner's arrival was announced. And there were many messages of gratitude to Karen Hills and Juan Amoros from the many players who have seen their careers thrive under those two highly respected coaches. But it is a new era now at Tottenham under Rhiannon Skinner. Morgan on the charge now, down the middle of the pitch, and Dow gets a foot in. Follis for the visitors. Ushers it into the middle of the park, dinks one over the top. And that's done Tottenham no real favours, that clearance by Harrop, but they get away with it. Spencer Gathers. Of course, Rhian Skinner will also benefit, the new coach, new head coach, from the fact that Tottenham will now train full time at the men's world-class training facility. They had been doing most of their training here and training at Tottenham's men's complex in Enfield just once a week. Well, now all of the training will take place there, seen as another step in the right direction for a top men's Premier League club to be offering a bit more backing, a bit more assistance to their women's side. Tottenham men also in action this afternoon away to Crystal Palace. Zella Oyan brings it down for Spurs on the left-hand side, but Smita Ale clears it for Villa. Kennedy loses out Shania Hales on the charge for Villa down the right-hand side. And out for a Tottenham throw-in. Tottenham men still goalless in that match away to Crystal Palace. And fans of Tottenham as a club may be following both matches if they're lucky enough to have multiple devices to do so. It's a bit of a headache for all the authorities trying to find a way to get more people viewing the women's game, of course, but so little room to avoid fixture clashes. May become more of an issue as the profile of women's football grows. Kennedy for Tottenham. Really open and eventful first 32 minutes we've had here at the Hive. Alex Morgan gave Tottenham a 13th minute lead from the penalty spot when she was brought down by Lisa Weiss, who was booked for the challenge. But just over 10 minutes later, it was Nadine Hampson bringing Villa level when she fired in a 30-yard shot over Becky Spencer's head to capitalise on a Spurs mistake and bring Aston Villa level. There's been other chances for both teams. Really hard to tell at this stage which way the game will go. Early kick-off between Reading and Manchester United. The WSL leaders ended in a 2-1 win for United. Chelsea now leading 1-0 at Brighton. West Ham still 1 up at Bristol City. Arsenal lead Manchester City with a very early goal in the 2:30 kick-off. Clash between two heavyweights of the WSL. And here it's 1-1. And of course, as mentioned, the Birmingham-Everton game sadly rained off before it could start. Postponed due to a waterlogged pitch. They'll have to find another date to get that Birmingham-Everton game played. Tottenham on the charge down the middle of the pitch. Morgan picks it up on the corner of the box. Oh, slides the ball across the goal and just too much on it for Addison to attempt to connect with it. But Tottenham sniffing the danger again. Alex Morgan almost laying one on the plate for Angela Addison. Villa breathe easy. To Weiss. Goes back to her centre-back, Natalie Haig. Finds Asante. Twists and turns well. And then Sprays it out to the right-hand side. Rather hopeful ball forward though, and Tottenham can counter now. Morgan on the charge to the left. And she has it. Can she find her intended target this time towards the far post and slid in and just couldn't keep that out as Percival slid in for Tottenham. It came off seams and into the back of the net. Lovely ball across the 6-yard box by Alex Morgan, and as the Tottenham bodies flew in, Caroline Seams could only divert it beyond her injured teammate Lisa Weiss in the Villa goal and into the back of the net as Tottenham had the lead for the second time. Some concern here for Lisa Weiss, the physio holding her head. Just hoping she's going to be okay. She seems to be clutching her nose and her midriff. Well, hands to her head now. Some words to the referee, I think, from the Villa defenders about the legitimacy of the goal as to whether Weiss was caught late. And Weiss is hopefully gingerly getting back to her feet. Well, she's back up now, and I'm just wondering, in the absence of any PA announcement, whether that goal was in fact disallowed. It seemed like there were initial celebrations from the Tottenham players, but obviously Weiss has taken quite a clattering. Weiss, at least we know, is going to be okay. And the players are indeed walking back to the centre circle, so the goal has been given. Very long delay though for the treatment to Lisa Weiss. Glad to say she's okay to continue, and Tottenham have a 2-1 lead. Caroline Seams' own goal about 10 minutes before half-time when that ball went into the back of the net. Villa kick off trailing for the second time this afternoon. Well, Villa responded very well the first time they went behind. Can they do so again? Asante back to Haig. Her ball out to the right hand side is cut out and Morgan has it. Goal from the spot for Morgan and an assist this afternoon. Rosella Ayan. Free kick to Spurs. Ayan is just walking off the effects of that challenge. Kit Graham stands over the ball to take the free kick for Tottenham. Spurs leading 2-1 against Aston Villa. They've had the lead for the second time now this afternoon. Can they get themselves a 2-goal cushion? Graham with the free kick. She has got a very powerful shot on her. Is this too far to take it on though? Yes, she goes for the cross into the centre of the pitch and headed on by Neville, but into the arms of Weiss, who gets Villa on the counter straight away down the left-hand side with Follis. Seems the unfortunate own goal scorer, batsman Dow. Finds Ale. Morgan tries to win it back for Tottenham and helps do so as Ayan now brings it down the left-hand side. Aimless pass though picked up by Dow and fed back to Weiss to clear it into the late afternoon sky. Kennedy gets there before Ale. Graham plays it back to Kennedy. In comes across towards, well, I was going to say the far post, but it drops onto the roof of the goal. And Tottenham do seem to be winning the 50-50 battles now. They seem to have got the bit between their teeth. Kennedy, Percival rather, loses out. Villa pick it up in the middle of the park with Petzelberger. Back to Dow. Sprays it out to Seams. Seams brings it down nicely and moves into the acres of space on the left-hand side, but the pass goes to Neville. Addison rolls one down the right-hand side. Graham can't keep it in, and Asante clatters it out for a throw-in off of Graham and out for a Villa throw-in taken by Seams. Hansen is impeded unfairly, says the referee. Free kick to Villa. Percival's challenge deemed to be a foul, and Follis stands over it. 3 minutes plus, or 2.5 minutes plus stoppage time until the break. Tottenham lead 2-1. There should be a fair bit of stoppage time after that injury to Lisa Weiss. Picks up in the process of Villa conceding the second goal. Follis drifted over the top all the way through to Spencer. Really didn't make anything out of that, Villa, from a promising position as well. What of course we have seen this afternoon, and it's Tottenham's second goal from open play in the WSL this season, but it's an own goal. Free kick to Tottenham. Whips in from the left-hand side again. That's where the route from which Tottenham's second goal came from, a Morgan cross, which Percival threw herself at. It went in off of Caroline Seams, though, the Villa left-back. Addison brings it down this right-hand side for Tottenham. Gets the cross in towards the near post and only out as far as Morgan. Asante brings it down, and free kick for Highlegs, or perhaps the ball went behind for a goal kick. Neville with the throw in for Tottenham. Graham brings it down. Takes it towards the touchline, does really well to hang on to it, plays it back to Morgan. Morgan's forced out of the area, but Tottenham keep the ball. They've kept the ball really well in the latter stages of this second half. Harrop now Finds Ayan. 3 minutes of added time has just been announced. Thought there might be rather more. Lisa Weiss seemed to be down for quite some time, receiving treatment after Villa let that goal in. And down for Villa. Time for them if they can get it forward quickly to get themselves on level terms again. Tottenham would love to take the lead, slender though it is, into the break. Feels okay, she's holding her wrist, looked in some discomfort, but okay to continue. Morgan flicks it on, Kennedy tries to charge through the middle as Sante gets there, finds Evers. All the way back now with Becky Spencer in the Spurs goal. Flicked on by Morgan to Ayan. Loses the battle though with Ndao, but Tottenham have it again with Harrop down the left-hand side. Pushes her opponent to the turf and is booked doing so.
It's not a cynical foul, is it?
Down, smashes it clear. Out for a Tottenham throw-in. Half-time whistle goes. Tottenham lead 2-1. Alex Morgan it was from the spot. She won the penalty and converted it herself in the 13th minute. Nadine Hansen brought Villa level 10 minutes later, drifting one in from distance when Becky Spencer was caught off her line as Tottenham lost possession. But Tottenham took the lead for a second time. Morgan's cross from the left. Percival flung a... Second half underway. Can Tottenham build on their lead? Can Villa haul themselves level for the second time this afternoon? Sante for Villa. Ayan tries to win it back for Spurs, but Ale does well to hold on to it for Villa. Finds Petzelberger. Villa also making a change at the break, it would appear. Diana Silva on for Shania Hales. Can she help Villa find a way back into it? After scoring the WSL, the Portugal international, Diana Silva. Got a couple in the Conti Cup against Aston Villa, against Coventry United, sorry, at Midlands Derby in the group stages. And Dow just shepherds it back to Weiss. A 9-0 win it was that night against Coventry in the Conti Cup group, when Diana Silva was on target twice. 25-year-old Portugal international. Played against England and Scotland at Euro 2017. We'll get to see a bit more of her this afternoon. 45 minutes she has to try and get Villa back on level terms. And Rachel Williams, of course, will be well known to everyone in Birmingham. Having played for Villa's City rivals, Birmingham City, for so long before joining Tottenham this summer. FA Cup winner with Birmingham in 2012 when she scored in that final against Chelsea, which the Blues of Midlands won on penalties against the Blues of London. Neville trying to shepherd this out for a Tottenham throw-in. Three minutes played in the second half. Tottenham 2, Aston Villa 1. Petzlberger brings it down. First of all, though, strides forward for Tottenham. Lovely run by her. Plays in Addison, but she loses the ball back to Villa. Silva, the half-time sub, loses out. Villa started the first half really brightly. They need to do something similar this time round. Ayan has it for Tottenham, gives it away to Ale, who can pick it up again now as Mita Ale works her way towards the area. Tosses a rather hopeful one in, but it's gone all the way across, and Neville deflects it behind. As the weak shot came in from Follis, Neville didn't want to take any risks. It would probably have just found its way harmlessly to Spencer, but it's come off Neville's boot, and it's a Villa corner early in this second half. 4 minutes played at the start of the second half. On a dank and dreary North London afternoon, but the hearts and minds of the Spurs supporters lucky enough to be in attendance will be feeling rather brighter than the weather right now, because their team lead. But they'll want to see them defend resolutely here as the Villa corner comes in towards the near post. Spencer punches away to the edge of the area. Ayana brings it down, charges into space. Strong run forward from the former Bristol City lady. Knocked to the turf by Follis. Free kick Tottenham, says referee Sarah Garrett, who had the yellow card out twice in that first half. Lisa Weiss, the Villa keeper, in the book for the challenge which conceded the penalty when she brought down Alex Morgan. Addison with the shot, comes in, flashes wide, and Carice Harrop also booked approaching half-time for a late tackle. Silva brings it all the way back towards the halfway line, the Villa forward, but does really well. She waited for the opportunity. Villa keep possession. Petzlberger now tries to play the 1-2. Tottenham get bodies there, get the blocks in. Villa win it back though, but it's gone out for a Spurs throw-in. Harrop, the throw in for Tottenham to Zadorsky. It's now with Neville. Morgan. Pass is wayward though. Morgan's penalty this afternoon brings her level with Ashley Neville as the top goal scorer for Spurs in the WSL this season, 2 apiece for each of them. Both of Morgan's from the spot. With the throw in for Tottenham, has it back. Tottenham captain this afternoon, Grease Harrop. Zadorsky. To Godfrey and out to Neville. Cuts back inside, does Ashley Neville. Dinks it over the top. And it goes all the way out for a Villa goal kick. West Ham still leading Bristol City in the early stages of the second half at Twerton Park. 2 clubs below these 2. Bristol City bottom of the table. West Ham just above them. Tottenham have a chance from a similar situation that led to the Villa equaliser. With a careless ball giving possession away, but Spurs unable to capitalise there. Villa on the break, Hansen through the middle. Neville will get there first for Tottenham, plays it back to Spencer. Clears it towards the halfway line. As things stand in the WSL right now, Bristol City bottom with 2 points, Villa second to bottom with 6, West Ham above them with 7, Brighton with 8, and Tottenham in 8th place with 9 points, but of course plenty of time for things to change this afternoon. And Dow brings it forward for Villa. Puts it towards the far post, too much on it though, and Petzelberger was never going to be able to get on the end of it, and it drifts all the way out for a Villa throw-in inside the corner quadrant. Petzelberger just brings it back for Seams to take it from a more favourable position. There's going to be another change.
Second substitution for Aston Villa, in the field is number 7, Follis.
As Follis leaves the pitch for Aston Villa. And on comes Jodie Hutton.
Number 12, Jodie Hutton.
So Jodie Hutton, 10 minutes into this second half. She certainly played the role of super sub a few times in her Villa career. Can prove to be a real impact player. She's got the ball here now. In comes the cross. Too much on that. All the way out for a Spurs throw-in. Jodie Hutton, 19 years old, been with Villa since she was 8. Top scorer in 2018-19 with 11 goals. Started 2 WSL matches this season, on as a sub today. Silva for Villa, so Ale. Been a decent start to the second half for Villa, trailing as they are, 2-1. Ale again for Villa, tries to dig it out to the far left-hand side, but Spurs cut it out. Kennedy. Short to Neville. Finds Addison. Cut out by Endow. Percival's there to mop it up for Tottenham in the middle of the park. It's forced out towards the touchline by Seams. Waits for the overlap from Addison, instead goes towards the centre of the box, and it's going to come all the way through, is it, to Ion? No, it's back with Harrop, takes a shot on straight into the midriff of Endow. Doesn't even flinch. Tower of strength there in the heart of the Villa defence. Back with Vice now. Alex Morgan goes to pressure the Villa central defender Haig, who has to go back to Vice. Morgan carries on the challenge. Williams came in there too. Villa still haven't managed to play their way out of trouble. It's with Addison for Tottenham. Still has it, does Addison, under pressure from Hansen now. Wins it back for Villa. Oh, and a pass is rather fortuitously found Ale, but Harrop gets there first. Williams brought that down, it flicked back up onto the hand. You find yourself getting penalised for almost any handball these days, but there was certainly nothing intentional about that. Not that there needs to be so much these days. Harrop for Spurs. To Williams again. Finds Kennedy. Godfrey and out to Neville. Neville goes long over the top for Ion to give chase, but it's all the way through to Vice. Sante loses out in the middle of the park. Kennedy on the charge. Too much on the ball for Morgan to have any chance of getting on the end of that. Seams for Villa gives it away. The unfortunate own goal scorer, Caroline Seams. The goal that separates the teams. Addison on the charge now, has Morgan in the centre of the area, goes down under the tackle. Arms aloft again, second time she's found herself prostrate and in that position this afternoon, with half-hearted appeals for a penalty from her again. Real tricky player on the ball, as we saw last week when she got the goal that put Tottenham 2-1 up here against Brighton. She's looked lively on a couple of occasions this afternoon. Spurs' priority in this half, though, is to remain disciplined. They're not giving quite so much away. A little bit cagier than in that very open first half, in which we saw 3 goals. Neville goes in on Marissa Avers and caught the ball and then the player. The card has come out. We have to hope Marissa Avers is okay. And Dow just checks with her. And Ashley Neville's going to follow her teammate Chris Harrop into the book, the second Spurs player to be shown a yellow card this afternoon. She got ball and player. She's not happy with the decision. Marissa Avers is okay. More than an hour played at the Hive. Tottenham 2, Aston Villa 1. Godfrey tidies that up for Tottenham, out for a Villa throw-in. Tottenham can get back-to-back wins following up last week's victory here against Brighton, and the home fans who have been fortunate enough to be in attendance at both will be very grateful for the easing of the coronavirus restrictions in London, given that they will have at that point been able to witness their only 2 league victories of the season. Of course, everyone has to await next week's verdict to see which tiers everyone remains in, as regards to whether some clubs may have to go back behind closed doors, having just opened up the turnstiles again to a limited number of fans. Tottenham on the charge again with Percival. Percival tees it off for Addison to try and get there. She does. Knocks it back. Cross comes in and Williams tries to get on the end of it. Ayana with the shot which deflects in off Haig. Rosella Ayana makes it Tottenham 3, Aston Villa 1. Got on the end of that, made no mistake. Hit it hard and true, and it took a deflection on its way through into the back of the Villa net as Tottenham take full control at the Hive. Rosella Ayaan with the 3rd Tottenham goal this afternoon. And a lot of work for Villa to do now. Find themselves trailing by 2 goals. Tottenham 3, Aston Villa 1. Scoreline by which last week's match finished against Brighton, a 3-1 victory. Tottenham have time to add to it this afternoon. Villa, of course, have time to try and find a way back into this game. Villa throw-in was Mita Ale just drops it, and she'll get the chance to take it again, although it has been deemed a foul throw. I remember Ryan Giggs doing something similar many moons ago. So yeah, as Mita Ale foul throw, as she rather clumsily drops it, and it goes to Tottenham instead. Williams, good move by her in the middle of the park for Tottenham. Addison now brings it forwards, tries to spray it through to Percival, but Villa hold their lines. Ayaan has it again, having just put Tottenham 3-1 up. Joined Tottenham from Bristol City last summer. Villa making the sub as Anita Asante goes off. Emily Syme comes on for the Villains. Ayan's first WSL goal of the season. She has been on target in the Conti Cup, the former Chelsea youth player, former England under-19 international. Also had a highly productive spell playing out in Cyprus with Tottenham Limassol. Morgan flicks it on. Villa have it back though. Neville down the right hand touchline, but out for a Villa throw in. Zadorsky for Tottenham. Back to Spencer. Halfway through this second half, quarter of the match remaining. Tottenham on the charge again. Addison to whip the cross in. This was the source of the third goal. Can she tee up another one for one of her teammates? She's won the corner. Tottenham looking strong and solid now, piling on the pressure. Another goal you would think would really kill it off. It's going to be a tall order as it is for Villa to get back into this. Trading 3-1. Harrop with the Tottenham corner. Neville's in that 6-yard box. Morgan close to the penalty spot. Neville comes short now. Corner goes towards the centre of the goal and flicked behind for another. This time they crowd the Villa keeper. Morgan in there. Zadorsky in there as well. Neville in there. Williams on the edge of the 6-yard box. In comes the corner now. All the bodies pile in. Neville got a touch. Villa just managed to get it behind again. Neville on the turf. And Dow gets to her feet and helps Neville get to hers. Harrop with the corner again. Third in quick succession. Will it be third time lucky for Tottenham? In comes a corner from Harrop. All the bodies fly in yet again. Drops to Ayan, and her shot is a daisy cutter a couple of yards wide of Weiss's right hand post. So Tottenham really enjoying their most sustained period of pressure with the game since that third goal. They've really taken a stranglehold of this match now. Percival. All the way behind for another Tottenham corner. 20 minutes to play. Tottenham very much having the better of this encounter now. Percival gives Harrop the short option. 6 Tottenham bodies in the box. Goes all the way out and whips towards the far corner. At the moment looked like it might just curl back in. Put behind for a Villa goal kick. In comes the cross. Villa scrambling away as far as Addison. Addison still has it. Left-footed shot across towards the penalty spot. Weiss gets there for Villa. Tottenham sense they can really snuff out the Villa challenge now. They're going all out to kill this game off. Ale drifts out for Tottenham throw-in. Harrop with the throw for Spurs. Straight to Ale though. Tottenham win it back in the centre of the park. Given away though to Ale, to Petzelberger. Kennedy wins it back, but unfairly. Free kick to Villa, taken quickly, too quickly, says the referee, who wants to check on Petzelberger. Just a talking to for Lana Kennedy. As Tottenham prepare another sub. Goes off. Goal scorer this afternoon, Jess Naz. Comes onto the pitch. Recently returned from injury, came on as a sub last week, her first competitive action for 481 days. She's been counting every one of them. I think she made clear just how delighted she was to be back on her Twitter feed. Great to see her back. And as mentioned earlier, she's got very fond memories of this fixture. It was her goal, historic goal as it proved, against Villa in the spring of 2019, which eventually secured a 1-1 draw against Villa, and with it the point that saw Tottenham promoted to the WSL. Petzelberger caught one in the eye, the right eye. She's okay. It's got to leave the pitch, of course, having had treatment. We'll then seek permission to come straight back on. The Villa players take the opportunity to seek some more instruction from Gemma Davis and her coaching staff. Got it all to do over this closing quarter of an hour plus added time. 3-1 down. Kennedy a bit loose with her touch there. Spurs managed to hang on to it. Spencer hoists it high into the sky, but it's out for a Villa throw-in. Seems with the throw-in for Villa. Ale to Petzelberger. Petzelberger 3 WSL goals to her name. Former German youth international. Scored against Brighton and got a couple in midweek against Bristol City. Ale to Silva, but Spurs win a throw in. West Ham now in cruise control of that other relegation showdown this afternoon. 3-0 up away to Bristol City. As things stand, Villa are going to be second from bottom at close of play. Just the bottom team goes down to the Championship, of course. Villa will still have a 4-point cushion. But it is not looking like it's going to be the result that they themselves want this afternoon here at the Hive. Morgan on the charge again for Tottenham. Gets the cross in. Too much on it for Naz to get on the end of. And they will have that 4-point cushion and a game in hand on Bristol City below them. And indeed on all the other teams down there. So certainly not looking ominous. Villa at this stage. Long way to go this season, and they've shown enough about themselves to suggest they can compete at this level. Certainly that 4-0 win over Bristol City in midweek looking ever more crucial now, though. It is the way things stand right now, looking like it is going to be Bristol City very much the team with the most amount of work to do, yet to really put in or secure the results, which suggests they're going to be able to tough it out. I guess the best of it was that 2-2 draw against Tottenham, the result which eventually sealed the fate of Tottenham's coaching staff. City got a very, very late equaliser in that 2-2 draw. At the time, that was the battle of the bottom two clubs in the table. Spurs have picked up since then under their new head coach. Looking like it's going to be 2 wins out of 2 for Rhian Skinner. Naz pings it back off to Williams, her fellow second half substitution. Spurs with a full complement of 9 on the bench this afternoon. 5 subs permitted in the WSL, of course, as it is in the Men's English Football League and many leagues around the world since the coronavirus outbreaks. Not allowed in the Men's Premier League in England, of course. That's been a point of real controversy, with the head coaches of the bigger teams really pushing for it. Ale for Villa. Silva tries to get the cross in. Villa themselves just the 6 players on the bench this afternoon. They've made 2 substitutions themselves, with Hutton and Syme, 3 rather, with Hutton, Syme and Silva all on. Ale has it for Villa. Harrop collects it for Tottenham, turns and flicks it out for a Villa throw, and Dow rolls it forward for Petzelberger to take. She leaves it for Ale. Hansen. Oh, lovely footwork by Nadine Hansen, the Villa scorer. Got the low cross in. Silva could only help it behind, and well, a Villa goal could quickly change the outlook, of course.
Third substitution for Tottenham Hotspur. Big in the field is number 14.
Andrew Anderson leaves the field for Spurs, so they make their 3rd change. Goal scorer last week against Brighton. Set one up this afternoon.
She's being replaced by number 19, Lucy Quinn.
Lucy Quinn enters the fray for Tottenham. She herself signed from Birmingham last year. She'll know all about the Birmingham Aston Villa rivalry. deep-seated rivalry in men's football. They met for the first time in the WSL last month. Birmingham won that match 1-0. A game that was played at Villa Park, albeit behind closed doors. Naz on the charge for Tottenham. Loses out. Ale picks it up for the Villains. Dow keeps it in, but well, really good work by Silva. Got there before Zadorsky. Sends across towards the far post. Headed away by Neville. The shot comes back in and Spencer had it covered wide of a right-hand post. 8 minutes plus added time to play. Tottenham 3, Villa 1. Villa need a goal quickly to get themselves back in contention and really pile the pressure on Tottenham in the closing stages, but Spurs looking comfortable right now. Vice's clearance picked up by Kennedy. Quinn takes a shot on. Vice got a touch to it. I think it was going wide anyway, but Vice wasn't taking any chances. Perhaps it was sneaking in. She certainly has a better view of it than I do. And she turns it behind for a Tottenham corner. Harrop trots across there to take it again. Tottenham such a threat from set pieces this season. Harrop with the corner, and it comes low, finds its way through to Williams. Can she get another touch on it? Well, Dow just lets it fall gently back into the arms of Vice, who rolls it out to Ale. Strides forward. Naz. Let's go all the way back. There's harmlessly out for a Villa throw-in. Ale takes it quickly back to Vice. Naz couldn't quite get control of it, and Ale picks it up for the Villains. Davids down the right hand side, cut out low by Zadorsky. Davids with the throw in. Ale. Dinked over the top for Silva to try and get on the end of that. Harrop, oh, Harrop tumbles and Silva now has the opportunity. Dinks it over to the far post and Hutton comes in and hoists it well over the bar. Well, for a moment I didn't think Silva had made the right decision, but she spotted Hutton coming in there, and if Hutton had connected properly, and it could well have found its way into the back of the Spurs net, but as it was, she just lofted it over the bar. Five minutes plus added time. Spurs 3-1 up. Alex Morgan from the penalty spot got proceedings underway this afternoon. The Dean Hansen with a long distance equaliser. Caroline Seams with a scrappy own goal 9 minutes before the break, and then Rosella Ayan tapping home courtesy of a deflection just after the hour mark. And Tottenham have been really comfortable since that point. Comfortable for most of the second half, in truth. The ball almost finds its way out of the Hive, but tumbles off the roofing for a Villa throw-in. And Dow. Ale. Petzelberger. Naz tries to get the tackle in. Petzelberger won it back, but Naz is stronger to it in the end. keeps hold of it. Back to Zadorsky and all the way back to Spencer. To Godfrey. Tottenham playing it around at the back. They hold all the cards with this 2-goal advantage very late on now. Not going to be taking too many chances. They had that spell after the third goal where they really went for the jugular. They sensed that Villa perhaps might crumble, but Villa weathered that storm. And if they can get themselves one back, it could make for interesting final few moments, but it's looking good for Tottenham right now. Percival can't pick out a teammate and Villa win it back. It's Mita Ale. Brings it towards the halfway line. Naz gets the boot in. A real tenacious player, Naz. Giving it everything. So pleased to be back on the pitch. Sign for Villa. Gives it away. Has it back though. Does the claret and blue clad second half substitute. Ale across to Marissa Avers. Spurs win it back. And the ball's lofted high and long and all the way back through to Lisa Weiss. Villa have to build from the back again. Free kick given for a foul in the centre of the park. Tottenham not in a hurry to take it. Percival down. Godfrey goes across to check on her, as does the referee. Godfrey with the free kick. Whips it out towards the right-hand side. It's going to go all the way through for a Villa throw-in deep in their own territory. The rain buffeting down now, the wind picking it up. It looks like Tottenham heading towards next week's London derby against Chelsea in fine form. They really needed a pick-me-up in form before that fixture against the reigning champions. And they're going to head there with 6 points from their most recent 6 games. Syme brings it down the right-hand side for Villa, finds Silva. Silva to Ale. Ale holds on to it and feeds it across to Seames. Neville picks it up. There's a challenge comes in. All fair, says the referee. Neville loses out. Villa have it back. Smashed away this time. Villa have a really important looking match themselves next week away to West Ham. The team who started today immediately below Villa and Spurs, but have now climbed to get above Villa. And Villa are going to head to their fellow claret and blue opponents next week in what is a real tough tussle between teams desperate for points. 3 minutes of added time just announced. We're about half a minute into the first of those. Spurs 3-1 up. And very close now to their second WSL win of the season, both secured in the space of 7 days. Harrop on the charge now. Can they finish it off? Harrop instead goes towards the corner flag, using all her know-how, all her experience, knowing the priority now is to not give anything away. Just frustrate Villa in these closing seconds now. Morgan takes it into the corner quadrant and wins Tottenham another throw-in. Well, that's a foul throw from Harrop. We've seen a couple of those now on this near touchline. Ale Lost control earlier and Harrop rather fumbled that one, so the throw-in instead goes to Villa. Hale heads it out of the sky and Silva picks it up, tries to dink it over the top of Zadorsky, who holds firm. Naz collects it, tries to forge a way through, but Villa have it back. Rachel Williams for Tottenham to Percival, finds Quinn, and now it's back with Becky Spencer, and we're into the final minutes of the 3 that were added. Tottenham just going to see it out now. Flicked on all the way through to Weiss. Villa look for what would surely be a consolation goal if they can find something with what will likely be this last attack of the half. Spurs clear. And they've got bodies forward themselves now, Tottenham. Percival pirouettes in the centre of the park, but it's cut out by Villa. Over the top to Silva. Brings it down with her head, takes a shot on from distance, goes over Spencer, who might have got the faintest touch onto the crossbar. And Tottenham breathe easy. Wow. Ambitious shot from Diana Silva, almost deceived Becky Spencer off of the bar, and Tottenham clear. And referee Sarah Garrett says that is the last action of the half. Tottenham Hotspur have beaten Aston Villa by 3-1. Alex Morgan, second penalty in 2 games, got things off the mark for Tottenham. Nadine Hansen with an equaliser in the 24th minute when she caught Becky Spencer off her line, and Caroline Seams rather unfortunately bundled the ball into the back of her own net to give Spurs the lead. A chance set up by Morgan 9 minutes before the break. Spurs took full control after half-time. Rosella Ayan with her first WSL goal of the season after a cross from the right by Addison. It took a deflection on its way in. Tottenham, though, deserved winners, give themselves a 7-point buffer now to Bristol City in the relegation zone, and Aston Villa sink back to second from bottom and have a really important match away to West Ham next weekend. It's finished at the Hive. Tottenham Hotspur 3, Aston Villa 1.